Hey, lovely people, a pleasant afternoon to you. What is the most dangerous prison? The one that you can't see or cannot see. Let me ask you a question. What is the greatest prison in the world? Let me read something to you. Many people would say a maximum security prison. Others would say poverty. Some may say illness or oppression. And I can understand. But I believe the most dangerous prison is the one that has no walls, no bars, no locks, and no guards. It is a prison of fear. Oh my goodness. That thing is debilitating mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and then it leads to physically. It is a prison of comfort. It is a prison of constantly worrying about what other people think. That is a dangerous thing, that we keep wondering, and that is why you will find people will sell out other people quickly. If they find that you are the pawn, if you are the person who is in the hot seat, the black sheep, they actually will join with the perpetrators against you because they fear what the repercussions may be. They fear what the repercussions may be. Many people are physically free but mentally imprisoned. Think about this. How many dreams have died because someone was afraid to fail? They actually shame us when we fail. And if you don't fail, how are you going to know that if you put hot iron in water, it will electrocute you? In other words, and I'm not saying that you're going to need to try something that can be hazardous to your life. But the point that I'm making is that if you do not fail, how are you going to know that this is not a path to not, this is a path to not take? You follow? How many businesses were never started because someone was waiting for the perfect time? And that is true. We tend to not. You have to have this in place. And there is a scripture, I think, either it is in Proverbs, I think it's more Ecclesiastes. It says just plant a seed. Don't wait on a specific season because you don't know what disaster may take. So just do what you're doing now. Don't wait, whether you feel fearful or you feel faith-filled. Do it now. Just do it. Don't wait. How many talented singers never sang? Oh Lord, sounds like me. Oh gosh. Writers never wrote. Entrepreneurs never invested. And leaders never led because they allowed fear to become their master. Fear is an excellent advisor, but it is a terrible leader. And I wouldn't even say an excellent advisor. It may sound very logical. It may sound wise. Fear can protect us from danger. And I wouldn't even say fear. I would prefer the word caution, which is different. But when it controls every decision we make, it slowly steals our future. Then there is comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels predictable. Comfort whispers, stay where you are. Don't give away surety for unsurety. Have you ever heard that? Lord have his mercy. If a lot of these wealthy people were to speak like that, they would never become wealthy. But growth never happens inside your comfort zone. A seed cannot become a tree unless it first breaks open. A caterpillar cannot become a butterfly without struggle. Gold is purified by fire. Literally, that is why you have the goldsmith and the silversmith. They have to get rid of all the impurities. They have on the thing, they put it in the fire, burn it. When they take it out, they look to see if any more impurities and they put it in. And that is how God deals with us. Growth often requires discomfort. Diamonds are created under pressure. Now let's talk about another invisible prison, the opinions of others. I had the scripture and I can't find it back. It says, and I'm just paraphrasing, it is dangerous to be concerned about what other people think about you. Yeah, it's not a good thing actually. I know it's hard, but sometimes you have to just almost like, there's no formula I can give you. You just have to kind of tough yourselves up. Tough up yourselves. And don't care what other people think. Just think about the worst possible thing. They don't speak to you. They marry your name. They whatnot. But I'm telling you, truth will stand. in the long run. People often laugh at vision before they celebrate success. History proves this repeatedly. Every major inventor, every great inventor, every transformational leader was doubted before they were celebrated. The world often rewards people only after it first rejects them, and that is absolutely true. And perhaps we all have been guilty of doing that to others. So why give strangers permission to determine your destiny? You see it? Here's another thought. Many people confuse being busy with being productive because you don't want people to say you're lazy. So you just keep yourselves busy tirelessly and you're really not accomplishing anything. Being exhausted does not necessarily mean you're making progress, and that is also true, because just the worry and the fretting can exhaust you, can tire you out. You can spend 10 hours climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. Activity is not always achievement. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is stop, think, evaluate, and change direction. Intelligence is not simply knowing many facts. So that is not intelligent. It is the application of the so-called knowledge and the understanding. That is why it is said, in all you're getting, get understanding. So let us put it this way. Knowledge is good. Understanding is better. And wisdom is best. All right? Real intelligence is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It is knowing when to fight and when to walk away. It is knowing that winning every argument does not make you wise. You know, sometimes you're tempted to because you want to seem bright, and you won this battle, this war, and you've lost good relationships in the long run. And people don't want to be around you. You see, that's what you have to think about. Emotional intelligence is just as important. And for you to gain that, you have to gain self-regulation, you know, what we call self-control. I often say that they're one in the same in a sense, you know. An emotionally intelligent person understands that strength is not measured by how loudly you speak. Strength is measured by how well you control yourself when emotions are high. That is why I say self-control, emotional intelligence, really one in the same. Anyone can react. Few people can respond with wisdom. We live in an age where everyone has an opinion. Social media has made it easy to speak, but much harder to think. Before sharing information, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Let me tell you, people, these days I try to practice that more and more, no matter how it sounds. Is it helpful? Is it necessary? Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your response. Not every battle deserves your energy. One of the greatest forms of maturity is learning what to ignore. Protect your peace. Protect your purpose. Protect your focus. Remember this. Your future is built by the decisions you make every single day. Small choices become habits. Habits become character. Character shapes destiny. No one suddenly becomes successful. No one suddenly becomes wise. And you're not a self-made millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, zillionaire. Somebody helped you, even if it is an advice you got. Success is usually the result of thousands of ordinary decisions made consistently over time. Finally, I want to leave you with this challenge. Ask yourself these questions tonight. What fear is controlling my life? What comfort zone is preventing my growth? Whose opinion have I allowed to become more important than my own purpose? And what is one decision I can make today that my future self will thank me for? Life is too short to spend it living someone else's expectations. Stop living for people. You were not created to merely exist. You are created to think, to grow, to contribute, to lead, to inspire. The invisible prison can only hold you if you refuse to unlock the door. The key has always been in your hands. Thank you, and remember, don't simply chase success. Become the kind of person that success naturally follows. Become the kind of person that success naturally follows. All right, guys? I hope that inspired you today. You know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions and follow me on Instagram.